Ayubowan. Vanakkam. I'm Vayoni Dimel. This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. Sri Lankan government blocks websites. This is not democracy, says Sri Lankan Journalist Association. US Congressman Schuler, strong advocate for reconciliation and a new start in Sri Lanka. Buddhist monks not happy with the new law in Sri Lanka to acquire underperforming businesses. Sri Lanka is experiencing a tourism boom, says a leading world travel report. UN has a duty to allow a full investigation into General Shavindra Silva's alleged war crimes, says the lawyers of the two Tamil plaintiffs in New York. Virtusa, one of 100 best small public companies in America. Fashion model in Los Angeles wants to help the orphans in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has blocked 5 news websites because they committed a character assassination and insulted people, including key political leaders, according to Information and Media Ministry Secretary W.B. Ganegala. Sri Lankan laws do not restrict the press from criticizing leaders, but media can be charged for defamation. Media groups criticize the moves as undemocratic, and the US Embassy recently raised concerns about press freedom in Sri Lanka. The government is trying to block the people's right to access information, said Gnanasiri Kottigoda, acting president of the Sri Lanka Working Journalist Association. Kottigoda said, "This is not democracy, and also it's a useless effort as the new information technology has the capability to beat those censorships. I want to give the real story about what's actually happening in Sri Lanka today," said US Congressman Heath Schuler after returning from his second visit to Sri Lanka with a congressional delegation. Congressman Schuler relishes his role as a booster for Sri Lanka. After being there only days after the end of their civil war and then again 2 years later, I see my role as someone who can talk about the very real progress Sri Lanka has made and how it impacts the United States, he said.
Sri Lanka has an incredible opportunity to proceed forward. Prosperity, economic development, and most importantly, peace.
In March 2009, Congressman Schuler signed on to a letter to Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton expressing concerns that the Sri Lankan government was ignoring the civil rights of many of its citizens in the final stretch of a civil war with a separatist military group, the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. Schuler's signing of the letter concerned some in the small but active Sri Lankan American population in western North Carolina. A few of my constituents who happen to be of Sri Lankan descent reached out to me because they were concerned I wasn't hearing the whole story, Schuler said. I met with them to hear their concerns and then met with the Sri Lankan ambassador and the US State Department. Schuler said the 2009 trip to Sri Lanka allowed him to see the full story of the aftermath of Sri Lanka's 26-year-long civil war against the Tigers, which has been classified as a terrorist organization by the international community. Taking the trip in 2009 allowed me to see the whole story, not just the one side I was hearing in Washington, Schuler said. What I saw on the ground when I went in 2009 was optimism and hope for reconciliation and a new start. Maduluave Sobita Thero, chief priest of the Kottenaga Vihara, wanted the Sri Lankan government to withdraw the draft bill of the law titled The Revival of Underperforming Enterprises and Underutilized Assets Act.
මේ පනතාවෙන් පස්සේ සිහි බුද්ධිය ඇති එක මිනිහෙක් මේ රටේ ආයෝජනයක් කරාවි.
Sobita Thero also warned that the new law, if passed, would nullify government efforts to attract investors, especially foreign investors.
ඉතින් මේකෙන් වෙන්නේ කිසිම ආයෝජකයෙක් මුදල් ආයෝජනය කරන එකක් නැහැ කිසිම කර්මාන්තයක් සඳහා කිසි ව්‍යාපාරයක් සඳහා.
Sobita Thero cited heavy losses at the state power utility and petroleum refiner, as well as in a new venture, Mihin Lanka, a state-run budget carrier.
අපි රට ගැන කල්පනා කරලා බොහොම කරුණාවෙන් රජයෙන් ඉල්ලා හිටිනවා අපට පේන ආකාරයට මේ පනත රටට අහිතකරයි විනාශකාරී ඒ නිසා මේ පනත ඉල්ලාස් කරගන්න කියලා.
The global and travel tourism industry has identified Sri Lanka as part of a group of emerging countries with potential as attractive holiday destinations. Sri Lanka is experiencing a boom in tourist arrivals with the end of the conflict in 2009, with many new hotels being built or planned. The island is also investing to modernize its ports and airports to cater to increased passenger and cargo flows. Lead attorney for the plaintiffs in the case against General Shavendra Silva filed a formal response on November 9th to General Silva's motion to dismiss the war crimes lawsuit against him in the Southern District of New York. As the largest international body protecting peace and justice, the United Nations has a duty to allow a full investigation into General Silva's war crimes. Silva should not be allowed to manipulate diplomatic immunity to use it as a shield for his crimes, argues Ali Baidoun, attorney to the plaintiffs, in his motion. Virtusa Corporation, a company founded by Chris Kadakaratne, a Sri Lankan, has been named in Forbes' list of the 100 best small public companies in America. The Forbes list recognizes 100 companies across the US that have withstood economic challenges to achieve impressive sales and earnings growth. To qualify for inclusion, companies must be publicly traded for at least a year, generate annual revenues of between $5 million and $1 billion, and have a stock price of at least $5 per share. The rankings are based on measures that including earnings growth, sales growth, and return on equity in the past 12 months and over 5 years, as well as stock performance relative to each company's peer group. Now, a special announcement. Boston Lanka, as a US-based media network, is about to complete its second year. As part of our expansion, it is with much pleasure that we announce the opening of our New York office and TV studio. While the main head office of Boston Lanka will continue to be in Boston, our New York studio will focus more on coverage of Sri Lankan American-related news in New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. We will announce more details in the coming weeks. To be able to help the orphans in Sri Lanka has been my goal. Every child should have a safe, warm home, meals, healthcare, and good education. This has been the goal of Sri Lankan-born fashion model Jennifer Rasaya, who now lives in Los Angeles. Jennifer, we know that you're working with the Sri Lankan photographer Gehan De Silva in Los Angeles. Tell us that experience posing in front of a camera as a model.
Working with Gihan De Silva, it's been a great experience. He definitely makes you feel at ease right throughout the shoot. I've done some great traditional shoots with him. I've done some more of the modern, contemporary shoots, and he does a great job. I love working with him, and we're looking at doing some other shoots as well together. So.
Do you have any project that you want to begin soon or a project that you want to complete one day? In other words, what is the goal in your life that you are working towards?
My one goal is to be able to work with orphanages, to be able to build these orphanages around the world, and everything that I do, whether it be writing a book, putting my feelings out for others to see, everything that I do, it's so that hopefully I could apply whatever I can from that. If it, I hope it's successful from that to building these orphanages. So that's my main goal. Whether myself modeling or doing anything that I do, it's to reach to that particular goal.
That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of News, Views and Entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.